Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca, in case you're not seeing it there. Also, I am giving in-person, I should say, readings in Herkimer, New York. Shoot me an email if you're near there and you want more details. The information for the decks and dice, all that stuff is going to be below. And if you would like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. James4astral@gmail.com, James4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Taurus? Okay, so when I was shuffling, a couple times I almost dropped like the deck. Like I was like, what is going on with my life? Like what is going on? But then again, I realized like when I'm connecting to the energy, a lot of it has to do with like what I'm connecting into. So the reason I'm bringing it forward anyway, there might be a couple moments that just kind of like jump forward really quickly and it's like, oh my God, and then you put it back in line. And it jumps forward again and goes, oh my God, and then you put it back in line. So I don't know if I should use this term for this, but PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't know. For some of you who have something like that, this could kind of exacerbate that a little bit. So be careful. I feel like for the people that matters for, you probably know what to do with that. But this thing coming up could kind of help, not help, but, you know, exasperate that a little bit, because it feels like it's in that line. There's a lot of support around you with this whole situation too. You got the Knight of Cups, so you do have connections or ways to handle this that can make this more smooth to a point within reason. Something is like, it's just jumping out at me, and it's like, it's jump scare. I don't think it's the first time you've come across it. Like, I'd be surprised if it was. But it feels jump scare to me. I'm not really a fan of the jump scare stuff. But, not really. And I feel like, you know, Taurus is very much, you know, I got things to do. You know, I'm not allowing people to get in my way because I got things to do. So it could be a pattern with a certain job, situation, person. It feels like person's most likely. That they do like this jump scare stuff on you. I don't know. I feel like for some of you that might be helpful to understand what direction this is coming from. Because if that's the case, I feel like I've been too busy to pull them aside and kind of let them know, don't be doing that. For some reason, I feel like I get the Seven of Swords where I didn't talk about it or I didn't call it out, but I might have been too busy at the time, and I'm like, I can't give you time. I have to keep moving. And then I probably thought I would circle back around to it, and for whatever reason, just it didn't happen. And some of you might even be hearing this part and going, oh, I should have said something, I just forgot. And I feel like that's frustrating. Like, I was going to say something, but I flat out forgot. Because life is busy. You got a lot of things to get done. So, it is what it is at this point. The stress is there, but they're also trying to remind you that these jump scare things coming up, you are going to be okay. I hate, like, I hope that doesn't sound like, oh, it's nothing, because it doesn't feel like that when the jump scare happens. Like, in my opinion, that's one of the reasons I don't really care for jump scares. It's because in the moment, it's like, good Lord, I'm not a fan of them. I don't think they're funny. I know people do that once in a while, but I just don't think they're funny. Typically, when you do it to somebody else, it usually isn't a feel-good moment for them either, but what are you going to do? I'm getting... Typically, I don't enjoy them. I'm sure there's instances. Anyway, the stress, you're going to make it through one way or another. The situation will not fall apart. You will succeed. So I'm not saying in the moment you're going to be okay in the moment. I'm saying overall, long term you're going to be okay. So I just want to put that. I don't want to like minimize it. I don't want to make it sound like I'm minimizing something. And there is support around here for you also. And then one of the reasons I'm also referring this to this as jump scares, because it comes in real fast and it causes calamity, but it's very fast that it remedies, and somebody else might literally fix it for you. Kind of like, oh no, that's not right, let me fix that. Like, but I feel like it's there long enough to where it definitely puts some pressure and makes some stress for you. I feel like we're trying to also put into play here that there is support, and it's kind of like this needs to be addressed. One way or another, this needs to be addressed. Okay. Even though I'm getting along, and it's about timing too, I get that. But the thing is, other people know something's not right here. Somebody else might beat you to the punch. Oh. Okay. Justice and the Star card coming in at the same time in the environment. This is around you. These two cards are very interesting because the Justice card does talk about Libra, and the Aquarius card is the Star card. These are both air signs. They're very compatible. When they work together, they can create a lot of positive change, very impactful. They can see things and move things around that other people had no idea that was even a possibility. It doesn't have to mean you're dealing with Aquarius or Libra, but that's the type of energy. Very diplomatic, but like the one energy, it can be very bold and very like calling things out, getting into the deeper layers. Why did somebody do that? Why did they think that was funny? How are we going to solve that to where we just knock that right off and that's not going to have an option to happen anymore? This situation will be rectified. How is Taurus going to know that? Because not for nothing, unless you can see the proof in that pudding, why would you accept that? Oh. Ironically, even though this does seem like it's stressful for you, whatever's happening here, you might see as overkill. Because I get like there's something here where there's a lot going on, and people are really kind of subduing this energy and like really putting it in its place. I keep getting the thought of like, to you it might seem like overkill. To you it might. I don't know what to say about that. Around you, this is around you too, like people are kind of like, no, we're not going to be doing that again. We're going to be shutting that right down. Okay. I also feel like I am kind of distancing myself from this situation. I feel like that's for the best. Okay. I feel like that's going to be just how it goes. You're going to distance yourself from whatever this was. You got the Five of Pentacles. It's a Pentacle card, which is Earth, Taurus, Earth. I don't feel bad about this. I don't feel like this is making me feel bad. I don't feel bad. Like, I don't want... Not that you want to feel bad, obviously, but... No, I'm happy to be away from it for a minute. You got the Knight of Cups, and you got your card, the Taurus card, which is the Hierophant. Is it out here? No. You're going to back off for a while, and you're going to be happy to do so. Other possibilities are coming into you at this time. I think you have other things going on is another reason. With the situation itself, you're on the outside. You have other things over here around it that you are not only wanting to do, but are successful with. So that's something going on for a little while. They're saying while you're busy, this isn't something you have to own. I feel like if you step back and give yourself a minute to breathe, you will realize I'm getting that it's not your responsibility to manage this situation. You don't have to be caught up in the middle of it. I feel like there might be a sense of responsibility with you, kind of like, oh, all right, I probably should say something. because it looks like it, especially if you're kind of like, oh, that looks like overkill. If it does, I feel like that might be another thing, like maybe I should say something. Or it could be, I keep getting the word overkill. It could be you getting involved might create overkill, just to let you know. You don't have to communicate with this one. There's a possibility, because this, I feel like I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't rectify it before, and I'm feeling like, well, maybe now I should say my 2 cents. I would watch, because I feel like you're a little bit more sensitive to this than you were before. It's more in your face than it was before. This situation looks like it's going to end. It's gonna solve itself. Well, I shouldn't say it's going to solve itself. Whatever people are doing around the situation, other people taking care of it, I do get that it does seem to be shutting it down. It's shutting it down. And I get that, like, just keeping your eye on it and kind of like staying back from it, but keeping your eye on it, I feel like I'm getting sufficient proof that, okay, all right, I see. Yeah, it looked like maybe it did look like overkill, but it's also like, yeah, but it is also solving that problem, and I would like that problem to be solved. So I guess we're just going to have to roll with it that way. You can be more comfortable with this, being away from it a little bit too, stepping back, still keeping your eye on it, but being far enough back to where I don't feel like I have to worry about somebody doing this jump scare to me thing again. I'm away from that. I don't feel like that's a constant problem. I feel like that's good. You can enjoy this more. You don't have to be right in on it. You don't have to be. The thing is with Taurus, I know that the sense of responsibility is high. And when you have decided something's your responsibility, it's just, I feel like Taurus is that one to, like, you always make sure your responsibilities are taken care of. I do like Taurus energy anyway, but maybe I'm biased, but I do think of Taurus in that energy. The thing is to see that this isn't your responsibility. It's a good idea to keep an eye on it, but this one isn't your responsibility to clean up. Excuse me. And not for nothing, Taurus has more than enough things to do, usually, in my opinion, too. What is this? This outcome's really good, but exactly what does this say for Taurus? Oh, things go in balance for you. Whatever this is, there's this timeout energy. And when you're in the timeout, you don't have to communicate. You might have the need to, but they're saying it might go better if you don't. Take it with a grain of salt, see how it plays out. When you do add back into it, right? I get that, like, whatever this random energy is, this is this card in balance. It might be random. Things are just kind of here and there. It might be random. Random's different than jump scared. Random is its own thing. Jump scare is a version of random that's like we don't need. This energy being more successful, understanding its boundaries, kind of like, all right, you're going to be a little bit crazy over in that area and stay in that area while you're a little bit crazy. Don't come over into mine. It's kind of like boundaries for the randomness when you come back in. So, like, that's the success with the Temperance, in my opinion. The Six of Wands is success. That is how I'm feeling about what's going on. It's kind of like, all right, it's not like that isn't totally still a little bit unhinged every now and then, but there's boundaries that it seems to understand that it needs to respect. I feel like I'm a lot happier. I feel like things are going a lot better for me when I add back in, and I feel more confident that it's going to stay where it needs to stay. There might be new ways of dealing with things. There might be a timing thing going on here. There might be another addition. There might be an addition of something here. Addition of something that's actually monitoring whatever threw things off before. This is an addition coming out of nowhere, and I'm getting a whole new beginning. Something that is pleasant to deal with, but might not be it's like it reminds me of people I've worked with before, which, like, at work they're very nice and very easy to get along with, but when you know them personally, you're like, that's not really who they are. They play a part when they're dealing with certain roles. They play a part when they're dealing with people at work or management. Like, I feel like we've all known people like this. I don't think this is going to be like groundbreaking information, but, like, you know those people who are like, they're out at work, it looks like they're best buddies with the manager, but when they go home, you find out they don't like them at all. But because of their job and where they want to go in their job, even though they don't really like this person, they're very compatible and political at work to make it work out. That's kind of this energy. This energy comes in very pleasant, not difficult for you to deal with. I get that this energy isn't actually a pleasant energy, but they've assigned themselves a certain role. They handle it a certain way. In this instant, why is this important for Taurus to know? Because I feel like you're probably going to find out the truth of that. That's why. Yeah, they're not really happy to be a part of that. Whoever this is not really happy to be a part of this. Like, it's almost like they have to babysit somebody else. They make it look like it's all great and fun at work, for example, if it's a work situation, clearly. But I feel like you're going to find out the truth where it's like, no, I don't like that person. I can't stand them. But it's my job to make sure they work out. So I'm very pleasurable. I let them think I like them just so everything goes smooth and copacetic. I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but if I never saw them again in my whole life, I would have no problem with that. That might be you, and you might kind of find that out down the road. The reason I feel like if this information is hitting, if this reading is hitting, the reason they're putting it in there is kind of like, instead of it like throwing you off later, kind of like, wait, what? If you kind of look closer, I feel like you'll get the little telltale signs every now and then. You'd be like, that was interesting, or that's. I feel like if you know it's kind of there, you might pay attention a little differently and kind of like, is that really there? Like, And then later when you find out, oh yeah, turns out they really don't like that person. They're paid to deal with it. So they're doing it. I've had managers like that where you could tell, to me, it's like obvious that they don't like me, but other people are like, no, they're great. And I'm like, no, I know there's certain things about me that people don't like. And then later on, it's been years sometimes, but I'm like, yep, I knew they didn't care for me. I knew it. I knew it. Like, not that I'm all happy, like, oh, they hated me. Ha, great. No, it's more like I knew something was off, and you could just feel it. I don't know. I just feel like it makes sense. You can tell. I feel like you could tell sometimes. Maybe if you're more on the intuitive side, it's easier. Whatever works. All right, why am I picking up? Because we're good. We're good. All right, we're done. Hopefully that helped. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.